Come here. Get off.
Hey, good people. We are back for another week of your favorite show. Today, we're talking to Glenise Kinard-Moore, pronouns she and her. Glenise is the founder of Skimoo Tech and the creator of the Vdom. The Vdom is the first app-connected prosthetic genital device that can go from flaccid to erect at the push of a button. An information security consultant by profession and an ambitious tech creative at night, Glenise is a self-proclaimed tech nerd, and she likes to say that her superpower is breaking apart many things to create new things. Yo, one of my questions was going to be, what's your superpower? You just ruined it. It's fine. The Vdom is set to be available to consumers in the fall of 2021. So like now, by the time y'all listening to this, it's out. That's what's up. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we are just going to jump right on in. What did baby Glenise want to be when she grew up?
The crazy part is I wanted to be an architect, but I could not draw for shit. I cannot draw anything. I used to make these houses and be like, Mom, Dad, does this look great? And be like, you like 12 and this looked like a mess. So,
they were done with just telling you what you wanted to hear by the end.
Sincerely. So yeah. But yeah, after I put that down, I definitely wanted to be a professional basketball player. I played basketball since I was 5, all the way up through college. But I blew out both my knees, so then I had to pivot again, try to figure something else out.
Oh,
damn. And finally, I chose the profession of marketing and PR. I did that for about 4.5 years after leaving college, and history is made after that.
Word. Yeah, I did marketing and PR too for a while.
It's a burnout.
Yep.
So, well, Kenrya has
the
the
next question is how you get from there to here. How you get from
that part?
Yeah, I'm like, how'd you?
History was made from there. As we just mentioned, PR and marketing, it takes a special person to be in it for longevity. And I'm not special, clearly. So about 4.5 years. I mean,
just in another way.
Clearly. But 4.5 years in, and I was just over it. I did a complete career change. I thought I wanted to work in healthcare. I worked in healthcare operations for about 5 years and was like, you know what? Let me stop being intimidated by what I really want to do, which was get into information security. So I just took a leap. I knew somebody. I was able to apply for a job that I was completely not qualified for. And
word to white men.
White people do it all the time.
I was like, shit, everybody else doing it. I'm going to do it too. So I got in there, learned what I need to learn, and just self-taught all the way through. Made a career out of it.
That's
wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite thing about what you do?
It's a never ending story. It's never a dull moment. It's so interesting, and because technology is always at the speed of light, with advancements, it's just never a dull moment. And I'm the type of person that I like to learn constantly. I go on vacation, not to vacation, but to learn new cultures and eat new foods and learn new people. So I just constantly like to learn. So that's probably why I'm so attached to this. What did you say? I'm sorry, Carrie. What did you say?
We could go nowhere together because I like to lay on a beach and eat.
Yeah, I'd be like, girl, see if they can Uber that shit to the beach.
I know, right? It's so funny because my wife is the same way. We like to get out, hit the streets, discover new stuff.
That's good.
But then one of our homeboys who we travel with all the time, he just wants to stay at wherever our vacation house is by the pool for the entire week or two that we're there. So
yes.
I'm like, I feel
that's my boo right there.
I respect those of you who want to explore, and I think it is fantastic that you want to learn new cultures. I just be so tired.
Yeah, I feel like, for me, I feel like that's rich people shit. Like, you vacation enough where you're like,
right.
I'm all relaxed, so now I'm gonna go expose myself. No, I need to this shit come around like not the full moon, like Halley's Comet. It ain't coming around too soon. So now that I'm out, let my ass sleep.
I feel you on that. To be honest, though, since I've started this company, it has changed a little bit. Like, dead ass. We went to Mexico maybe back in March or April. My wife made me go on a vacation because I've been working 7 days a week around the clock for 2.5 years now since I started this project. So she made me go on a vacation, and we did not leave that house one day out of the entire week that we were there. That was the first time ever.
Good.
First time ever.
Okay.
You needed it, sounds like.
Yeah, clearly.
And then you came back refreshed and ready to tackle more of the Vdom.
Well, she really kept working while on vacation every time she would take a nap. So
I hope you listening and you hear this mess.
I hope you sincerely. But that's my secret. Maybe it's out now, but yeah.
Okay, so what's the most challenging thing about what you do?
The most challenging thing is honestly learning as I go. So if we're talking about, Vdom and the product, the business, it's definitely learning as I go. I am not an engineer by trade, and well, not by anything. But
by spirit.
By spirit alone. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a chemist. And I've had to learn a little bit about all of these things. And then on top of that, I'm had to learn, how to be a CEO. I wasn't a CEO before. Never been one before. Didn't go to business school. So I had to learn all these things as I went. And as I'm banging my head against the wall, I had to learn and pivot. I didn't have time to cry about it. Didn't have time to go read a book or go to school or take a class. So that's probably been the most challenging thing. It's like, and then the ups and downs. One, in the morning time, you can get some great news, and by noon, it's like all hell has broken loose. So, that part, it's emotionally draining.
Okay. Would you change anything about the way that you did it?
Oh, for sure. There's so many things I probably would have done differently if I would have known better. For one, I joke about this all the time, but a lot of people who say that they're going to start a business or be an entrepreneur, first thing they do is go get a domain. Second thing they do is go get a t-shirt and a logo. They do all this shit that is so fucking irrelevant to like what you really need to do to get from point A to, Z. So there's so many things I would have done different at the beginning. I started marketing and all this shit before I even finished my product. Like, just so much shit like that. I just was so unnecessary because I thought it was the way and the steps to do certain things. Because I was always on the opposite side of the table, not this side. So I just did a lot of shit wrong. A lot.
But then those things are already done. So then you ain't got to do them later.
Yeah.
Now, that is a true statement. I'd rather have known in the beginning than, be at year 2 right now, getting ready to go to market and still learning, small rookie shit. So, yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah.
For
so,
sure.
We talk about sex on this show. So, we're wondering, what was the prevailing attitude about sex in your home growing up?
That's so funny. I answered this question the other day. And my family, of course, I mentioned I grew up in Alabama. So good old fashioned South Bible Belt. And my family I was the only one actually born in Alabama out of my other 2 siblings. Everybody else is from Mississippi and New Orleans. So let's get even more deeper South.
That's both sides. So
we're going to double down on the South.
Wow. My mom's side is from Alabama. My dad's side is from Mississippi. I'm understanding.
Exactly. So you already know where I'm going with this.
Yes.
So half of the family is super religious, quote unquote. The other half is off the chain. So that's pretty much how my parents were, but not the whole total religious part. But my dad was a little bit more conservative. My mom was like, "Fuck it, y'all gonna have to learn someday." So she would be the one to say certain things, and my dad would cringe, like, "Oh, why did you say that?" She'd be like, "You know what you did last night?" And he's like, "Oh my God, don't say that to the kids." This is the kind of household that I grew up in. So to be honest, it leaves a mark on you, regardless of the fact, because you have, this one person who you look up to saying, "No, don't say those types of things. Don't display certain behaviors." And then you have this other person who's the complete opposite saying, "Hey, nah, let it all hang out." you need to know now before you learn in a terrible way later. So that was the dynamic growing up in our house. And it was just so funny because even certain content that was left around. I remember me and my sister found a sensual massage book with all these naked pictures in it. We were so excited. We were like, whose book is this? Like, which one of y'all did it? You know, like, and it was actually my dad's book. So it was just weird and interesting and confusing at the same damn time.
Yeah. So wait, but you said it leaves a mark on you. I'm wondering, like, how do you think that impacts the way you move through the world, and how does it impact your work? Right? Because
heck yeah. Had a huge impact. It had a huge impact on, especially for someone who identifies as a lesbian woman. It took me years to come out and actually be who I was first and foremost. But when I finally actually came out and started to come into my own from a sexuality standpoint, it then took years for me to actually get in tune with my body sexually and understand what I liked, what I didn't like. I was trying to find conforming boxes to fit in, you know, from a sexuality perspective, because I felt like I was wrong already for being a lesbian woman. So it was just so many dynamics, and it goes back to, again, don't say certain things, don't do certain things, don't display certain types of behavior. But at the same time, something in me was just like, nah, fuck that. Like, be who you are, be yourself. So again, it was by my two parents, and those were like the impacting things. And parents have no idea how they fuck up their kids sometimes. Like, you listen to everything, right? You listen to everything.
Shit and passing, yeah. It was like, damn.
It's just shit and passing, right? Yeah. You know, so yeah. And it
kids don't miss shit.
It took until I was like maybe 25, 26, 27 before I actually really truly started to embrace myself. And it wasn't until I started to create this product that I really just said fuck it and let go. So yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so about this product. When Kenrya and I when we first read the book, we were like, okay, we need to talk to someone that combines sex and tech. So then we went down our rabbit holes. I'm telling you, our Google searches are wild. But anyway, we found you and this amazing ass technology, which is so fucking cool. So explain it. Tell us about it. Brag on yourself a bit.
Yes.
After the way I feel this morning, I'm about to do that shit today.
Yes.
No, but seriously, basically, the Vdom we call it an app-connected prosthetic genital device. That is because we're trying to make sure that all the ears that hear it actually hear it and don't get caught up on what exactly it is and what it does. And then also because we see it as a lifestyle product and not just a sex toy, or pleasure product. So, but basically, long story short, it is a spin on a traditional strap-on. Instead of just having a one size fits all, one phase, one motion device, we created a device that included the implementation of electronics into a traditional strap-on. So you now have the ability to go from flaccid, soft to hard with the push of a button. And we app connected it because one of the nuances we were trying to kill with traditional strap-ons is the fact that it's so awkward. It's so incredibly awkward. Putting one together, I guess assembling one, wearing it, it's just so many awkward things with it. We try to take all the awkward pieces out of it. So we didn't want people having to put their hands in their pants to flip a switch. So we were like, you know what? 90% of the time, even during intimate moments, people have their cell phones in their hands in some form of fashion. They changing music. They are peeping over when they get a little bored. Like there's so many, 90% of the time. So we were like, let's just make a remote control on a mobile app and call it a day. So that's pretty much what it is. It is electronic form, mechanical form.
You were so dope that you were like, we're gonna do this thing. I mean, we might as well make an app. Like, who the fuck does that? Especially with a fucking marketing and PR background. Like, yeah, you're dope as fuck. Like, this is amazing.
Yes. And yo, like when you go to the site, I love that the default is the black one.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
For
Because,
sure.
folks be trying to pander and they, white is mainstream, whatever the fuck bullshit, because white supremacy. And I was like, look at that black strap.
But check
Front
this
and
out
center.
though. Because we first had the first images come out. It was actually a white colored version, but that was because the background was dark and we wanted to make sure that it illustrated. You were able to see the motion of the actual device because it was 3D design. It wasn't because we were trying to, do anything crazy. It was like, I said it, I was like, what? That ain't got shit to do with it. I'm a whole black ass woman. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got shit to do with shit, But it was just literally lighting contrast.
Listen, my black ass was very happy to see that the black was not the alternate color, because so very often that's how things are presented, right? Yeah. The white is the default. And I was like, yes, the default.
No, when we started testing our silicones, the first thing we started with was making sure that we had the best pigmentation for black people first, honestly. And then we worked our way back. And it was I ain't even gonna say that. Yeah, I'm gonna say that shit. It was so funny because when we got to like the white pigmentation, it was so hard to figure this shit out. Like I had one of our engineers, I'm like, man, I'm so sorry, bro, but I need to put this shit up against your skin so I can work this out, because and he was just like, no, because I can't figure it out on the opposite end. And I'm like, see, okay, cool, let's do this.
We all gotta know what we can do.
Exactly.
So can we talk about, I think when I first read about this, when Erica found the article during our search, it talked about the applications of use for, folks who don't have an appendage who want to use one. But also I'm thinking about like the broader audience that can use this. And can we talk about like the applications it is for disabled folks? Absolutely.
This is probably honestly one of the proudest things that I am happy about with this product, is because, it's always said, if you don't have to be in someone's shoes or be, if you haven't lived a certain type of lifestyle, you have no clue about it. And it doesn't come to your mind, at the forefront when you are doing certain things, whether it's baking a cake or, making cookies. So I actually, when I was going through the research process and really understanding, like what the market is for this product, I was strictly focused on the LGBT community. But when I started to do more and more research, I started getting all these emails from people with disabilities who were just like, oh my gosh, I need this because I have this. Or, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I've been trying to find something like this because I have a spinal cord injury and I can't have sex with my wife like I usually would, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, holy shit, I didn't even think about this. So I actually pulled in a consultant who specifically is disabled themselves, and all they do is provide consulting work for sex toy, sex companies. Wow. We had the greatest conversation, and I was like, whoa, there is a whole different, group that needs this product. So let me do a little bit more digging. And the more and more digging that I did, the more and more I started to reshape how the product is actually built, so that it could be a really viable solution for those who have physical disabilities. And right now, we have men, women, heterosexual, lesbian, queer, it doesn't matter, that need this product because they have a physical disability or they've had genital injuries. Didn't realize how many people actually had genital injuries. There's tons. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we asked you on the show because we read this book, Stiff, and it features this woman who uses technology to connect with sex partners. It's a lot more than just like Tinder, but it's a lot more sophisticated than that. So she visits a sex club and they use tech to kind of make the check-in and the process of connecting seamless. So what makes sex and tech excellent partners?
Because I say this is my own personal opinion, but just like technology is always advancing, humans coming into their own sexuality and coming into what truly pleasures them is starting to change as well. It's starting to become more advanced. People are being more vocal about it. So I think that they're interlined with, okay, now there is a whole different aspect of life that can now attach to technology. And the other piece of that is that technology fits in every single thing that we do on this earth, whether we're going to the bathroom or whether we're going through a line in a cafeteria. Technology is influencing in some form or fashion in that way. So why not with sex? And it's now finally starting to be the intersect.
That makes sense. So, I mean, this kind of builds on that. As Erica was saying in the book, they have these tablets and things to help them along. And Eric and I have both been to sex clubs, and we're like, yo, this shit would actually be really dope if this is what they were instead of these little ashy places that we didn't been to.
Yes.
But I'm wondering, like, for you as someone who is really sitting at that intersection of sex and tech, what does the future of that look like to you? Like, in your wildest dreams?
For sure, remote sex is definitely going to be a hitter. It showed us, and during COVID, it spiked the sex tech industry by 155% alone for purchases because of remote sex. And it's being taken to a whole different world, which to me is actually a good thing because you're reducing a lot of risk that's associated with more so in-person sex because people are seeking their pleasures. But if you have this more remote world, you can still seek those pleasures. They're just remote now. So I think remote sex is going to be definitely the future for us. And specifically with what I'm working with, it's more connected to teledildonics, if you're familiar with that. But basically, it's just teledildonics is basically just remote devices that could be controlled by someone who's in a different area or different place. It's a connection via Wi-Fi. So I think that is truly going to be the future. And it's actually a piece that's the future of the Vdom as well. We're already working on technology for it. So, yeah, I think that that's probably going to be number one for sure.
Right. Okay. So how does being a Black lesbian impact the way you approach your work?
Two-sided coin. One is, it was created out of necessity for me. I wanted to be able to have sex anytime, anywhere with my wife. So, and as a lesbian woman, we use strap-ons all the time in our bedroom. And it was just like, hey, let's take the thing that we could use outdoors and let's just make sure that's better. The other side of it, though, is it is absolutely fucking hilarious to set up a meeting with a VC, walk through the door, and say, hey, I'm trying to make the most incredible dick ever. As a Black lesbian woman. So you can just imagine, how many layers of shit I got to get through, with this conversation and getting their minds to just focus on the business instead of the fact that there is a lesbian Black woman sitting in front of you saying that she's trying to make the best penis in the world. So those are the two folds for sure.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that actually plays into our next question, which is going to say, like, there are not a lot of Black women in tech. There's definitely not a lot of Black women or gender nonconforming folks, for that matter, in sex tech. Like, what is your experience being one of the few?
Yeah, I know. All of them.
You're like, we got a text group.
Like, for real though, you got a text group. Yeah. That's the first piece of it. But I'm not going to say I think, I know for a fact that the way each one of us have entered into this industry and we're diverse with even our Blackness. And it's so dope because each one of us have a whole group of people behind us that are Black or, lesbian, whatever, older, younger, women or, people of color that are coming behind them that are saying, oh, okay, she's 60 years old and she's in this industry and she's doing great and it's awesome. She's got a whole bunch of other 60, 50-year-old women that are coming behind her saying, shit, let me get into this.
Yeah.
You got somebody else that is, 22 years old and is a sex blogger and really sex blogs on, technology and the intersection between sex and tech. And now she has a whole bunch of 20-year-olds coming behind her saying like, shit, let me get into this. And the same thing for me. I have a whole bunch of lesbians who are looking like, damn, I've been talking about this product for years, didn't know where to start. Now they know where to start. So it's a whole bunch that's going to come behind me. So I think that, even though it's like 11 of us right now in the world, I think that this is definitely going to be the catalyst for really carving out the path. The future looks bright to me.
That's saying a lot.
Good. So what needs to change to get more queer Black folks in that room? Like,
I think it comes down to like any type of company. If you're creating products or if you're creating any type of solution for a certain person or certain group of people, that person needs to be represented at the table, at the decision-making space, and hire people that reflect who you're trying to sell to, period and point blank. I think it's just more so about representation.
Right. So you told us, well, we said in your bio that your superpower is breaking apart shit to create new shit. What does that mean to you?
I am a super nerd. Even approaching creating the Vdom, I actually was looking at a remote control, looked at the PCB board on that, which is basically the motherboard, looked at that and was like, damn, I wonder if I could connect this to this HDMI cable. Like, it didn't go down like that. But I just, I was just looking around the room and was like, how can I make this happen? And it was just by being able to say, okay, this functions like this. I wonder, can I take that type of technology, put it in here? It needs to be super small. So then I need to go find this piece. And that's how we approached it, with my engineering team. I took them the first draft and they were like, how did you do this? You didn't go to school for engineering. I'm like, nah, looked through some books and looked around the room. So, and that's honestly, that's my nerdism, sincerely. My wife is always like, why do you think like that? I don't know.
Right?
Superpower.
Word. So what are you reading right now?
I have a few. Well, I just finished 2, and I know a lot of people might give me shit about one of them, but one of them is Hustle Smarter, Not Harder by 50 Cent. Everybody hates 50 Cent's guts, especially right about now.
He's an asshole.
He is. He's a pickle. But the dude's a genius as a businessman. He is a genius as a businessman. And that's the only reason I read the book, because I know what type of business person he is. And I was just wanting to, peel back some layers in his brain. And I read his book and the shit was amazing. Like I could read it 3 more times, to be honest, from a business perspective.
I will say that I know folks who worked with him on that book and who have worked with him in general. And they're like, that troll shit is whatever. But he actually really has his shit together, and he's really easy to work with. So
yeah, I believe
for
it.
what it's worth,
he's a totally different person, and you can see it on the pages of his book. He knows what the hell he's doing.
Yes. So
that's the annoying part. But one other book that I'm reading also, I just started reading this one. It's called Algorithms of Oppression, by Sophia Moja Noble. But basically it's about, which is a hot topic right now, but it's about how the algorithms in certain types of technology are discriminatory against people of color. So Facebook was just thrown into the fire again because its face recognition technology tried to recommend, seeing more Black men as monkeys. So she pretty much talks about, these types of discrepancies, and especially because the government is starting to try to use facial recognition, technology at heightened levels right now. They're so biased. Why would you take this as a government tool, and when it's so biased and it's so incorrect? So that's what she pretty much talks about in her book. So yeah.
Because the government wants to do what it's always done, and
exactly
he's biased to
government's gonna government.
Exactly.
Lord have mercy. Ugh.
So, Glenise, what is turning you on today?
Well, let's see. How I was about to say something wrong, probably. So I'm gonna just skip that.
There's nothing wrong on this show.
Ain't nothing wrong over here.
Well, like, okay, well then, honestly, the first thing that came to my mind is that my wife bought these new pair of panties, and my wife doesn't wear panties. First off, okay, like she doesn't wear panties. Which I think it's so weird because I'm like, oh my gosh, you cannot do that. She's like, fuck that, I've been wearing panties since I was 9.
That's my friend.
But crazy. But she bought these new pair of panties. She only sleeps in them, and they're just awesome. She woke up this morning, and I woke up, and I was just like, those are some great panties. And yeah. Anyway, so that's the first thing that came to my mind. My bad.
But you apologize for. That's a great thing
because it's so random.
No, yeah, that's a great thing. That is why we asked that question.
Yeah,
that is why we asked that question. So I love it.
There are so many different things that can turn us on at any point in any given day, and everybody is different, and you could be different today than you are tomorrow. And yeah,
real talk. Yeah. That was the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah, right. Love it.
Good. Okay, so a quick lightning round is going to be either or. Okay.
Okay.
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Facebook or Twitter?
Twitter.
Music or podcast?
Music.
Bath or shower?
Shower for sure. I hate taking showers. I hate taking baths, period. I do.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're talking about just generally.
In general, yeah. No, I do.
But it's not your favorite thing.
But I think it's the most inconvenient bullshit ever on earth. That is a true statement. Yeah.
You stand by it?
Stand by that shit.
Cause you like in your groove, you like,
I gotta go
wash my
face. I gotta get wet. I gotta pull out a towel and some soap, all the shit. Like, who got time for that shit? I gotta dry off.
Yeah, okay.
I understand.
Touch my soul. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was a nerve. That's how I have eczema, so that's how I feel about the fact that I now have to sit in lotion because I can't be ashy and I be itchy. So I legit have to every time. It's like a whole situation. So I do understand.
Whole inconvenience stitch. But you gotta do it.
You have to. I need y'all to listen to us. You have to.
I digress.
I mean, hey, it's fine. Okay, so movies at home or in the theater?
Ooh, movies at home for sure. Yeah.
Okay, last one. Beer or wine?
Beer.
Or water? Oh, okay. All right.
Definitely beer. Fuck wine.
Okay.
I'm gonna have some, but no, seriously. Beer.
Are you a fancy beer drinker? Are you like, it has to have an IPA with the such and such, or will you drink Bud Light like me?
She like, not that far.
Well, you know what? I'm not even go front though. Like, and the only reason I stopped drinking this beer is because it was just like making me look like damn near pregnant on a regular basis, and I was nowhere near pregnant. But Ice House, that was my junk beer that I loved for so.
Now, Glenise.
I've heard of Ice House, but I never had it.
No, nope, you don't.
That's why I said I'm not even gonna give you shit about
Ice House. Ice House is like Ice House to beer is Tang to orange juice.
Oh,
yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. That was a really good description.
She's really good at analogies.
Yeah,
excellent.
That was
can't do math, but I can do an analogy.
You and me both. It's cool. Join the club. Can't count her shit.
Bitch, you the damn engineer over here, or the tech goddess.
Engineer by spirit.
By spirit.
We gotta pay attention.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. All right, I got it.
So the question is, what's next for you? But we know, like, Vdom is coming.
Vdom is coming. We are just weeks away. We finally made it into production. We were supposed to be in production in April, and all hell broke loose. Lessons learned, but we pivoted. We're in production now, and we are just a few weeks away. And we are already starting to work on the technology for the next versions of the Vdom, because there's actually 4 in the pipeline. So
Wow.
the version that's coming out now is a base version. And then we're adding some stimulation for the primary user. And then we're actually adding some more stimulation for the external user or the secondary user. And then we're actually adding some more things to the mobile app as well. So and then there's the future of Vdom that's even more so. I really, again, love technology. And one of the things I've been fascinated by is brain-computer interfaces. So after, really talking with the disability community and talking with consultants, I really, really want to go deeper into the world of prosthesis and technology and see how we can combine the two to give people who don't even have certain stimulation by just connecting, the technology to their brain via sensors, via, just different types of technology. So that's the true depth of Vdom, and I can't wait for that piece. Just gotta get it out there first. So
damn, yeah, that's what's up. Word. So where will people be able to find Vdom?
So as of right now, in the first 6 months of the release of the product, it can only be purchased from our website, which is www.thevdom.com. And we are currently just now starting to have conversations with retail outlets and distributors and seeing if we're going to open that door. As of right now, it's a little bit further in the future. So only through our website.
Right. So the Vdom, so the THEVWOM. Nope. DOM. Listen. Okay. Stop it. It's THEVDOM.com.
You got it.
Okay.
Okay.
That was hard. Lord have mercy. I ain't even gonna do the next part. Tell people where you are on Twitter and IG and Facebook.
For sure. On IG, you can find us at the.vdom, VDOM, on IG. And then on Twitter and Facebook, you can find us at Vdom ATO.
Dope. Okay. Y'all go follow, find more information, get your junk as soon as it's available.
I feel like we're at the beginning of like some really big shit. So just remember you heard about the Vdom on the Turn On.
Exactly. Yeah.
For sure.
I'm like the cousin that showed up at the end. Don't forget us.
We out here like we did something.
I dig it.
Yo, but on that note, thank you so much for coming on the show. We had a ball.
Appreciate y'all for having me. Seriously.
Fun times. Yay. And thank all of y'all for listening. That is it for this week's episode of The Turn On. We'll be back next week. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
This episode was produced by us, Kenrya and Erica, and edited by Ballistic. The theme music is from Brazy. Hit subscribe right now in your favorite podcast app and at youtube.com/theturnonpodcast so you'll never miss an episode.
Then follow us on Twitter at The Turn On Pod and Instagram at The Turn On Podcast. And you can find links to books, transcripts, guest info, what's turning us on, and other fun stuff at theturnonpodcast.com.
And don't forget to email us at theturnonpodcast@gmail.com with your book recommendations and your pressing sex and related questions.
And you can support the show by leaving us a 5-star review, buying some merch, or becoming a patron of the show. Just head to theturnonpodcast.com to make that happen.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon. Holla.